Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian report for the 2nd of September. And starting with the ASX on the daily chart here, we are looking for a rally that would take us to the, well, roughly the 61.8% of this move down here. So we can look at this coming into 6684 area here. And we are looking at this move here as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave to the upside here. This C wave here that we're looking at here, we're looking at in 5 waves. So if we can drill into that particular leg here, we're looking at it like this here. So from the low here, we're looking for an A wave, a B wave here, and we're looking for a C wave to take us to this area through here. The 5 waves up here. I did last time have wave 1 sitting on here, but I've changed that, and the reason for that is when I look at the cash market, the physical market, this is the physical market on a 5-minute chart here. So from the low here, I'm looking at this as wave 1 here with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, then an A wave, a B wave and 5 waves in the C wave here. So wave 1 here and wave 2 here, nice strong 3rd wave here, 4th wave and 5th wave here for wave 1, and that would leave us with this nice strong wave here where we've got the gap in it for the 3rd wave here, coming up for wave 3, and now we're looking for wave 4. So that's why I'm counting it like that based on the cash market. So that's 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here. So we need to drill into this area here to understand this. I also need to point out too that it's always nice to know at what point we would be wrong. So once wave 4 finishes here, and we'll talk about that, then we'll have wave 5 here, and of course wave 5 will be in 5 waves. So when it makes its top in this space here, once it makes that top there, let's just say that it could go higher from that point, but what it would do, because we've had 5 waves here, it would have some sort of ABC correction here, and then it would move up from that point there. So if I'm wrong, we can just simply take out the top, or then we can start refining better entries and those sorts of things. So if I'm wrong and the market is going to continue higher here, then this is the way that we would handle it. So our job is that we're long at the moment, and we'll stay long until we get to this, through this 5th wave here, and we'll have a target point up here, and then we'll get out. And yes, we'll look for short trades as well, but we'll also be mindful of the market moving up further. Will it? I don't know, but the thing is that if it is, we need to be on it. It's as simple as that. It's not about sort of pointing the finger. It's about, getting on with the job and getting on the right side of it. So coming into the hourly chart here, this is sort of a little bit messy, but so for now we're looking at wave 1 all the way over here and wave 2 here, and then we have a nice 5 wave structure up here for wave 3, and we're looking for an A and a B and C wave here for wave 4. So that can pull us back to 6,000. Well, yeah, this figure here, we could round that off. We'll go into the tick chart in a moment, but 6559 here. So yeah, so if this is correct, we can expect to have a move down to here, and then 5 waves up from that point, which will take us up into this space here. Let's just say group 2 up here. So if we were looking for a target up here at this stage, let's just put it into group 2 here. So that's where we'll take profit. We'll leave the stop out of the way for a little moment, just leave it where it is here, and just let the market do its thing here at the 6,600. That's what it's doing here. I want to go in and talk about this a little bit further here. Even though we're expecting the market to pull back down here further, I just want to talk about that and what can possibly occur, and if it does, what should we do, and so on. So just moving into what this is 100 ticks now. So wave 3 here. The thing is that this move down through here is the A wave here is only in 3 waves. It's a little bit difficult to decipher here on 100 ticks, but I've worked this out on my 20 tick chart and 10 tick chart. And we've got 5 here, the 3 here and 5 here. So we've got this here. So it is possible that we could have wave 4 already in place here. For that to be the case, then we would need to look at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here. Then we'd also need to look at this as wave 1 and wave 2 here. So if you see the market breach this low here, this wave B low here, then you'll know that the bullish move up here is not going to take place. If that, as soon as that wave B is breached, then you know that we're going to be looking at a 5-wave structure here. So then we'll be looking at something like this here. Now, because it's in 3 waves here, and it is a wave 4, wave 4s can get a bit complicated. Because it's got 3 waves there, this correction could be part of the flat family, or it could also be a triangle pattern as well. So an A, a B, a C, a D, and an E, and then up from that point. That's possible. With the flat correction, because we got 3 here, it's probably not likely that we're going to make a new low down here somewhere. So yeah, but the good news is that because this is in 3 waves here, at some point we're going to make a top here. So realistically, the idea is to just leave the stop out of the way, and Bob's your uncle. So this one here, this high here, we can go long above this high here too if you wanted to go today on this one here. The US has got the Labor Day, I think somebody mentioned to me on the phone the other day. So yeah, still the futures market will be tripping along. So but there we have it. So I'm not quite sure how this wave 4 is going to pan out. But because it's got 3 waves, we'll make a new high. Because it's got 3 waves, it can be a triangle pattern, it can be a flat pattern. If it's going to be a flat, then, or there's a couple of ways that it could go. Expanded flat and a regular flat. A regular flat will just come down to the 72 area here, the same low here, and not come all the way down here as well. So there's a variety of things that can happen. I guess one of the things that you could do if you wanted to go long is you could ask yourself, does the market have 6,600 as support? Does it look like support to you whenever it occurs? So that's something that you can work with at that point. But it is possible that copying this, that this can be 1 here and 2 here at this stage, and we're moving up, but it would have to move straight up from here. Okay. But in the bigger picture, that's cool. We just keep the stop out of the way down here. And because we know we've still got further to go to the upside. So our target will be 6672, even though it can go a little tad higher. But we're looking for 5 waves up in this section here for that, which will take depending if wave 4 is going to play out today here and then move up, then it could take us 2 days, 2.5 days or something. But that's where we are for that. I'll just have a look at the on the trading levels charting program. Just want to have a look at some of the sectors that we've been talking about. So This is the XJO here, the ASX200, the cash market, the physical market. So in this case, we're coming up to 6691 here for the 61.8% retracement level. And here we're looking for the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave coming up into this space here. And we're looking for 5 waves up here, as you know. So we've got 1 and 2 in here. Nice strong third wave here from the other day. And then we're looking for that 4th wave to begin, and then the 5th wave up through to that point. This is kind of this, you know, the material sector and the banking sector, they've all made this move to the downside here. In the material sector, this move to the downside is easy to see. So if I go to the XMJ here, the material sector here that I pointed out the other day, from the high here on this daily chart, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then down for 5. In wave 5 here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we've got a beautiful 5-wave structure here. So what we would be looking for in the materials sector would be, well, let's just... This is where we're looking for high up here. So we've still got a long way to go for the material sector to roll over here. So it'll be something like this here. So we've still got quite a few days to be in all of this, you know. So some of those stocks that are rallying, that are in the material sector, then you know, you can continue with those for some time. And the banking sector, this is the banking sector here. So it seems to be a few days ahead, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 5, even 6 days ahead. But once again, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. And then we're looking for the A, the B, and the C wave up here for the banking sector. We'll have a look at some of the banks just while we're here as well, because they look a bit more bullish. So in this case here, what I'd been waiting for was 5 waves up, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to take us up to this point here. And this is where we would look to be shorting at this point. So also what I'll do here is that from this low here, I'll just bring it out of the way here, up to this point here, I'll just remove this here now. So with the banks, I was looking at getting some short positions up here, but I won't get them until we've got some sort of setup and confirmation. So if we're looking for the downside here, we'll be looking something like this. But of course, the first little structure in here will be 5 waves in here. So this is what I would also be looking for here as well. We may sell on the turn, because either way, what will happen here, let's just say that I was wrong at this point. What we would do here then is we would look to be, once those 5 waves are in, then we'll look to go long above that, right? In terms of going short, we would simply be looking for a little ABC rally here, and then we can look to go short, you know, through this way here as such, and come down through this way. But when I look at some of the banks, I'm a little bit concerned. If I can go to CBA first. With CBA here, this is obviously a daily chart. The move down through here, I could look at wave 1 or wave 2 here, but for wave 2, it's actually really quite big for wave 2. Do you know, wave 2 should be, you know, the same time, you know, should be same time as this, or even smaller than that in terms of time, but it's much bigger. So I'm wondering if we've actually got an A wave here, a B wave here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for this market here. and then instead of having an A and a B and a C coming in here, because this would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 coming into here, and obviously we've got 80 here, so this number will be our saving grace in a way, and it will give us our long trade as well. So from this little point here, we're looking at 5 waves up here that will take us up into 80, and then we'll have some type of correction here. But this high here, this is the one that's going to help us out here in terms of going long here. So we may have to end up going long here. I will be looking for a setup here, either to go long or to go short here. When I have a look at, say, Westpac here, WBC, and look at this pattern here, it's completely different here, isn't it? It hasn't given us 5 waves down through here. Sure, I could squeeze 5 waves out of 1 and 2 and 3 here and 4 here rather high, but this suits better as an A and a B and a C here, and then we just continue to move up through here. So I am looking at both sides of the market with this, and A and Z as well. The other, we don't really look at this much, but I don't really trust spikes that much, so I'd rather trust the trade, more volume in here. So I would look at this as the top here, but in that case here we would have a clean A, B and C wave here. So it's also possible we could go long from here as well rather than short. So I'm a little bit confused, but I'll only move once I understand what's going on and once we have a good setup within all of that. So anyway, I just wanted to update my thoughts on that. Let's move on to Hong Kong. Hong Kong. So we're looking at this here as wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here and 5 here. And we're looking for some type of correction, which is basically a bounce off the 25,000 here, which is a medium level, and then we'll see a move down from that point there. So, how do we look at this particular correction that's been unfolding here? Well, I'm starting to think that we may end up having a triangle here in this. So from wave 3 low here, looking at an A and a B and a C wave here, a D and an E wave here. So we've got a bit more to come up into this space before we see a move down here. So, when we're talking about the ASX200 and the S&P 500 all moving up a little bit further, one more leg up and then folding over, then I think it can be the same here as well. So just going to the hourly chart here, and we'll look at the previous count that we had and also the current count we had. So from the previous count we had from here, we're looking for an A wave, a B wave here, and then 5 waves up as wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave C. So when this moved up here as wave 1, that was cool, but it really dropped a long way for wave 2, which is kind of okay, but it's, it just sort of, just a little bit weird that it dropped that much. So I had to start thinking of another count that we could be stuck in. And if that's the case, then the triangle place came in where we've got A, B, C here for the C wave on here, a D wave coming down and an E wave here. So a bit more mucking around within here. So one thing that I can draw from this is that if this low here is breached, then we can go short from that point. All right, but I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think we've got some moves in here to play out for wave E, and then we can come down from this point. If the top of this, copy this, if this gets taken out here, then we can also go long from that point. But you want support on 26,000, let's face it, at that point. So I just want to let this consolidation go in here, because I think that we could get some sort of, messy vibrations in here, and then we can drop from that, and we'll drop in line with the S&P dropping from that point there as well. Moving on to the Indian market. So with the Indian market, we're looking for this correction sideways as well, in that we know that this move here is in 3 waves here, so we know whatever occurs here is corrective. So I've just been trying to figure it out. Maybe it turns into a triangle as well, but an A wave here, an A and a B and a C wave here for the B wave, and then I could count 5 waves up here. It's not the best 5 waves in terms of 1 and 2 here and 3 and 4 and finishing in here of 5. It's not the best, so it could be counted as 3 waves. But what I know at this stage is that if this low is breached, then we can go short from that point. Right, we could probably go a little bit higher in here and we can go in and have a look at that. But we're still in the correction here, but it may be finished at this particular point in time. So, just coming back here from wave 3 here, we're looking for an A wave, B wave, and C wave up here for wave 4, and then we're looking for 5 waves down here. So with the 5 waves down here, I can count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for that. So that's nice wave 1 here. So this here would have to play out as wave A, B, and C here for wave 2 here, and that also from that high to this low here to here, that's the 61.8%. So if we get a move above that, you could get a short-term trade to the upside. Of course, if this low gets taken out here, which we can move up under these ones here, so if the 10,900 becomes the retested resistance, you can short from that point. So technically this, I mean, the way that this is structured at the moment, we should just come straight down from this point here. But what does concern me is a little bit is this move up through here is an impulse wave. So we just need to be mindful of that. So we could just take this here. So that's 50% there and 60% there. So what we've got to be careful of, this is definitely 5 waves up here, which suits the C wave for wave 2. So that's actually fine. So we can have this down here as wave 1 here and back for wave 2 here, and coming down for 3, 4, 5. But I just want to be sure. So, and I'm not sure, but I do know that if this top gets taken out, we will be going somewhat higher. And if this low gets taken out, then we're on our way to the downside at this point. But what you need to be careful of here, if this is 5 waves here, this can be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to here, and then move up from that point. So we need to be mindful of that. But if it's wave 1 and 2 here, then we'll be coming down for the 3rd wave here as such. So don't overtrade here, because you're going to get overlapped. If this is going to be 1, 2, 3 here, 4, 5, it will just come down to here, and then we're going to come back up to that point here again, and well, rather this point in this space, and then come down again from that point. So you will be carrying a bit of a loss there. So keep it really small at that stage there. Just have a look at the tick chart here with that structure. So you can see here with that move up through here, it's very 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. This does look like it's like 5 waves here. So it is positive in terms that it's moving down through here. So you would need to, but this also looks like 5 waves up here as well. So it's a bit of a tricky one. Let me just, and of course the support for that would be in here as well. So the market can but the move down here looks impulsive as well. So you could short from this below this low here. You could go long from that point. Instead of using this high over here, you can go long from this one, and you can go short from that one. But this is the ABC correction here. So I think it's okay. You can also put the A wave over here, by the way, too. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll leave it at that. Alrighty. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.
Report unless it's done. Really? Just holding up some plates.